am the president of Ground Zero Development, and this is our 4th annual Youth Conference.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to thank everybody for coming, and on behalf of the Ground Zero Development, we would like to welcome you all to the 4th annual report.
So I had this message that God blessed me with, and it was, sometimes I flicker, but my light still shines. I'll say it again. Sometimes I flicker, but my light still shines. How many know we're called to be the light? Amen. Part of y'all know. But hopefully by the end of this, we'll all know that we are called to be the light. So as Christians, we are called to be a light amongst darkness. Can anybody tell me what you think? Sometimes I flicker, but my light still shines means?
We're not perfect.
Oh, come on, talk that talk. Who is that? Oh, I thought it was somebody. No, that's true. I work with that too. We're not perfect. A lot of us get it all mixed up and think we gotta, when we come into Christianity, there's gonna be peaches and cream, it's gonna be a life filled with just, No, it don't work like that. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna get tough sometimes, but you still have to keep on going. You still have to keep on moving. So my job here is to motivate you all and let you know just because you might have failed a class or two does not mean you give up on school. Just because you might have had a behavioral issue in the beginning of school don't mean you have to finish that way. Just because you might have got suspended one time doesn't mean, hey, you know what, I don't care nothing about them, act up the rest of the year. Just because you and your parents didn't agree on a certain thing when you woke up that morning doesn't mean they have to mess up the rest of your day. Just want to motivate somebody. How many people know that a light without power is useless? How many people know that? If you were in a cave and you had a flashlight with no batteries, how useless is the flashlight? Ain't no good to nobody. So if we are called to be the light in this dark world, that's a lie. Every time you talk, but what would they say? We can talk all day long about what we are. But how is your walk? Your walk powerful. I love it. That's what's up. But I want to ask somebody else, how's your walk? You know what I'm saying? Your friends, your peers, your core group of people. You know they say birds of a feather flock together. So if I was to go to your school and say, hey, what's your name, bro? Anthony Elliott. Thank you. First and last. That's what I'm doing. Give me a whole government. What's your slogan? Anthony Elliott. If I was to go to your school and say, you know Anthony Elliott, how is he in school when nobody else is around? I want to ask somebody else. So that's what I want to leave y'all with today, man. Make sure your light shines. Yeah, we may make mistakes. We may flicker a little bit. But as long as we stay connected to the power source, we can still be that light.
Squeeze that hand and say, strength to you, strength to you. Glory to God. I declare that you're going to finish this year strong. You're not going to finish this year exhausted. You're not going to finish this year frustrated. You're not going to finish this year out of money. You're going to finish this year strong. Look at your neighbor. Tell him you're going to finish strong. Let me minister this to you. Glory to God. Hallelujah. The word says this in Luke 22. The devil acts for you.
introducing a guest speaker who is Chief Kelvin Wright. He's worked with the Chesapeake Police Department. He was employed in law enforcement since 1982, with all his time spent in the city of Chesapeake. He has worked in patrol, traffic enforcement, special investigations, support and records, and is currently assigned to the Professional Standards Bureau, where he oversees internal affairs, intelligence, police training, hiring and recruitment, inspections, crime analysis, crime prevention, and animal control. Chief Wright has a bachelor's degree in sociology from St. Leo University and an MPA from Troy University. He has done some work on a PhD in urban planning from ODU. He is currently an adjunct professor at Tidewater Community College.
I am Kelvin White, Chief of Police for the City of Chesapeake, and I count it a blessing and honor to be the leader of the modern-day law enforcement agency. I want to take a moment and thank the President of Ground Zero Development, Mr. Les Smith, for his commitment to developing youth and eliminating a pathway for success in life. He understands we all have an obligation to help our fellow man. Moreover, one of the most important reasons for our existence as human beings is to improve the life of someone else. Thank you, Les. And I personally want to acknowledge your work. I say thank you for being a positive force in our community. I say this because I doubt the message I bring to you this morning you've never heard before. To the contrary, it is a message that is familiar and intended to keep you focused on your goals and remind you of your purpose and ultimately your destiny. Each of you represents more than just yourselves. You represent your family, a community, and the hope for a better tomorrow and a better life for future generations. Each of you has been given a legacy, one which you did not choose. But each of you will leave a legacy, one of your own choosing, that will impact future generations more than you could ever imagine. So I want to frame my speech, my time with you this morning, with the notion of choice. Yes, choice. For life can be described as an endless series of choice. Some good, some bad. Some made quickly, and some made after considerable deliberation. Some made for us, by us, and many made for us. But in the final analysis, we are all the consequences of our choices. We live with choice, and ultimately, we are defined by our choices. Consider this viewpoint. There's a scripture that says, "For what shall a man be profited if he shall gain the whole world and forfeit his life? Or what will a man give in exchange for his life?" I want you to ponder this proposition for a minute. For before you is the whole world and all it has to offer. Your future is as large and limited as you choose it to be. You live in a time where technology continues to enhance the human experience. You live in a time where wealth and prosperity abound, where opportunity. I can tell you individual stories, but it's not necessary. I love these stories, and I think that each of us has a story to tell. And you should be prepared to tell your story of how you overcame. What is important is you put your name on any of these or more, for all of us will face challenges and controversy. No matter what circumstances you face, I've discovered that all the people I know that have overcome and persevered had at least one thing in common. They all had courage. Courage to stand up, stand out, and see it through. They refuse to succumb to or surrender to or be deterred by the challenge before them. This you need to know. All of what I just said and stated, you can overcome them as well. You need to know this. You need to believe it. Before I take my seat, I feel compelled to ask you to do just 3 things for me. Just 3 simple things. First, be kind. Be kind to people. It costs you nothing to be kind. It is the right thing to do. Smiling at someone, saying good morning to someone, holding the door, or asking how they're doing potentially brightens someone's day. You don't know what someone is going through. Your simple act of kindness may make the difference in someone's life. You may be the only person that says hello or good morning to that person who feels isolated depressed, or worthless. It makes a difference. Be compassionate. Being compassionate, being able to show charity, understanding, mercy, caring, empathy, and sympathy for your fellow man. Do so simply because it is the right thing to do. And finally, make wise choices. Because success in life is not by chance, but by choice. And the choices you make will determine your chances. Thank you for your time.
On behalf of Ground Zero Development, I'd like to give you this momentum from our group. It says, Mr. Patrick Williams, Inspirational Moments Speaker, 4th Annual Youth Conference. Youth Conference, complacency is not an option. Thank you so much, sir. And it reads, Chief Kelvin Wright, we want to thank you for being the guest speaker at our 4th Annual Youth Conference. Complacency is not an option. Your efforts to build up our young teens have not gone unnoticed, and we salute you on this day for standing in the gap and for touching the souls of so many people. Thank you, sir.
And what happens in your environment. What you get in your genes, you can't control. We all have some good stuff and some bad stuff. But you can control whether or not you pick up. So what we preach to people is, you don't know if you have that gene or not. None of us know. But if you turn it on, sometimes it's already too late. So the best thing you can do, the best advice you can give young people is stay away from it. Don't even try it. No one starts drinking, planning to be an alcoholic. No one starts using heroin or pain pills thinking they're going to be addicts. But it happens every day and more in this country and more with our young people. So the rule of thumb is avoid it at all costs if possible. There'll be certain circumstances where it'll be needed, and addicts who are released from treatment, they know that they're responsible for their own recovery. So if they have some type of medical procedure, they know to tell their doctors, don't give me an opiate. Because they can be away from it for 30 years and then start taking it for maybe legitimate reason and then right back on that same path of addiction. And the addict's mind will trick them into thinking, whether it's alcohol or opiates, I can just have a drink. And every one of them will tell you, that led me down that same path like I never had recovery. So once you get them cleaned up, the rule of thumb is it's a lifetime endeavor, one day at a time. Once you pick up, your brain clicks on that addict's mind and you're right back where you started. It's a chemical thing. And it's kind of complicated to explain, but once you turn it on, it's usually headed down the wrong path. There's a high recidivism rate amongst these people, and that means that a lot of them are in and out of treatment because recovery is difficult. There's so many pieces of this puzzle that have to come together. So many things that they have to take responsibility for. But a lot of them are in and out of treatment. The hope is that we get them stable and keep them stable with the right resources and the right treatment. And that's the best way to deal with addictions. But naloxone, Narcan that you talked about is the reversal medicine. I think it's really important to remember that too. Treatment. I talked about the detox facility that we have in Virginia Beach, and there are multiple ones throughout all the cities. But they usually come in, a lot of them have just shot up in the parking lot, but we don't judge them. None of us should be judging anybody. We all have our own stuff. So we bring them in, and we usually have a 4-day protocol of slowly weaning them off of a combination of phenobarb and Ultram. And it doesn't completely address all the symptoms, but it really minimizes them. And in addition to that, we make sure that they get 3 meals and that they have plenty of Gatorade and fluid and that they have
ding, 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 ding. Straight line. Here we go. So when this ball comes to you, I want you to step out, speak clearly, because you've already done some bonding experiences because you had to talk to each other just now. Something that sometimes you don't do often in high school. You kind of walk amongst yourself and you stay with the people that you know. So right now we're going to be giving advice to each other, and then we're going to talk about how that advice that you give is going to lead to your future. Whether you're going to college, whether you're going into the workforce, or whether you're going into the military. A lot of different options and a lot of different ways to get there. So since I know her so well, you're going first. Go. Senior, what would you tell the freshman?
Freshmen, stay focused even if your freshman year. Sometimes they go, oh, it's freshman year, I can do whatever I want. No, that's not necessarily true, because that freshman year really affects your sophomore, junior, and senior year. Because if you go to it lacking, it's really going to be hard for you. You're going to have to pick up what you left off, not knowing what to do. So stay headstrong freshman year and keep going throughout all 4 years of high school.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. That was good. Listen,
Good advice.
that is really good advice. And we're going to go back to it. I think she's learned. She's heard that.
That's life lesson.
It is. It is very important. And we're going to tell you why, if you really want to go to college, why your freshman year is so important. Juniors, no, sophomores. What would you tell the juniors?
Oh, I have a freshman.
Huh?
I have it for the freshman.
You have it for a freshman?
Yeah.
All right, what would you tell the freshman?
So in freshman year, classes are easier than they're gonna be, so take advantage of it. If it's not too hard to get an A and you just give a little bit of effort, try to. It's gonna be worth it when you're in sophomore, junior, senior year, and you need A's on your GPA.
Excellent. Excellent. Wait, what just happened? All right, that listen.
Yeah.
Freshman, you're getting some really good advice. And for the senior, everything she just said applies to everybody in the room. But freshmen, wow, they're really looking out. Because our freshmen, who are you talking to? You got taller since last year too. Who are you speaking to?
I don't know. It was kind
Sophomores.
of like
Okay. Oh Lord, the ball is missing. Okay.
Hi, my name is Sharon Wilson. I have 4 grown children, 13 grandchildren. So my oldest is does transport for Centura and Open Sea Hospital and is doing very well. My son's military and just retired from the military back here in the States. And then I have one next daughter that works for Anthem and has been really being successful in her job. She's only been there 3 years and has been catching up with mom financially from working at Anthem, getting ready to start working from home within the next 2 weeks after just getting this new job and position last month. And my youngest is getting ready to head to Regent to get her master's. She's in the accounting field. She does my taxes and all of that good stuff. And then the grandkids, I have one, talking about the one that's is into the cooking, and he's won competitions. And I have 2 that's over in Fayetteville, that one that likes your science and technology, that I really feel that she's gonna be that female tech person. And then your younger sister, she's going to be the animal doctor.
Okay.
And then I have 2 middle schoolers over at Hugo. My granddaughter Deasia, she's the A student that's on the principal's list and all of that good stuff, and she's doing well. And she is the sport one. She's the football player. She's been on the football team with her brother on other outside events. She's the basketball, she's that. But that is the sport part. But she's gymnastic, cheerleading. And then for him, I'm working on him because he's the one that's, he lost the science, the history, but his downfall is the English and the math. I'm a librarian, I work for the state of Chesapeake, so I'm pushing that with him and working on those other ones.
Okay. Being in education, that is not what we always see. It is rare to see parents come out, and it's even more rare to see black parents come out. And we just be honest with you, it is a struggle to get parents to come out to the school so that we can talk to them about their children. We spend over 7 hours a day with your children instead of extracurricular activities. We're sometimes spending up to 12 hours a day with your children. We feed your children.
He is not exactly someone who I would consider an idol or who I would surround my friends with, but his music and like his songs, Ignition Remix will forever be in my playlist because it's a good song and it's a good like beat. But I'm not saying that he's amazing. I'm not even saying that he's worthy to be someone who I would idolize. I'm just saying separate the art from the artist, because sometimes the people aren't necessarily the music that they, or like the inspiration that, not inspiration, it's the gift that they make that it's amazing.
That makes sense.
But as far as like idolizing with celebrities, I would probably say Michelle Obama. Yeah, she's definitely a queen. She's definitely up there. Beyonce, I feel like she's overrated because like everyone's like put her on a pedestal. Like I want to be like Beyonce, or I want to have that Jay-Z and Beyonce look like. That she's already up there, so I'm not even gonna say her as one of mine. But I would say definitely Michelle Obama because she represents women, black women, and encouraging everyone to be who they are. So she's definitely up there.
She's a person who like, it's not like her gift, like we love Beyonce, but she's a singer. It's not like, but it's just that she's like a person who is like, seems like a really good, positive person to, like a role model.
And so I asked that question because it's important that when we look at each other and when we look at people that we look up to, that we see the gift in them and not put them on a pedestal. Because how many people would put somebody on a pedestal and then as soon as they fail or do something such as R. Kelly, and we're going to just leave it at that. You know, as soon as they fail or do something that doesn't look good, then now they're a failure, or you know, we put another label on them. Whereas if you only appreciate their gifts, then you understand that they're human and they make mistakes like the rest of us. Just because they've attained some sort of notoriety for what they've accomplished for that gift, we have to appreciate the gifts. We can appreciate the person, but appreciate the gift and not put the person on a pedestal. Because when you do that, and you use the word idolize, that puts them in the place of a higher being. And that's kind of the definition of idolizing, really giving someone the place of higher being in your heart and in your mind. What you got?
You saying how like everyone they can make one mistake and then end up being like the most hated person if they did one bad thing. So wouldn't that be like basically every single one of the U.S. presidents?
That would be everyone in life.
No, like the main group would be the U.S. presidents because they make bigger mistakes than any other group out there.
The only reason why it's considered bigger is because of the spotlight they have.
Yeah.
Because they make the same mistakes as the rest of us, but just if they're
And the next time they were like, wait, don't forget to take it off. But that's not going to stunt their growth. Don't be growth stunners as parents. Just because you didn't do it don't mean your child can't. They are limitless. And the thing is this, what scares you is that you don't know how to do what they want to do. So that's why you got us. Come talk to us, because we're going to find a way. It's the thing in my office right now that says, someday I'm going to change the world. My coworker came in and she said, dang, I believe you're going to do it too. I said, that's right. Because I'm doing it daily through your children. I know right now that I have a student who's about to go to the NFL. Because he graduated early. And I took him through the ringer. Why you want to do it? What you going to do with it? Well, I said, yeah, you ain't graduating early if you ain't taking Algebra 2. Because how you going to succeed you're not meeting the prerequisites of the college. The advanced diploma in the state of Virginia meets the prerequisites for the colleges for them to go to. You don't have to get an advanced diploma to take those classes. Get out, Skyana. This session ain't for you. How'd you know what's girl, go. She one of mine.
He said they know this sound.
So you have to be prepared. And listen, the crisis will come. Something's gonna happen. It's high school.
Yeah.
Something always happens.
That's right.
I have a question. Because my son is like everybody else's child is struggling with math and reading. And now everything that's pretty much being taught in the classroom is SOL based.
Let me tell you about the
It's focused
SOLs.
on the
They have
SOL.
changed. Your children will no longer be required to take 6 and 9 SOLs. As a matter of fact, they will no longer be required to take any SOLs outside of what they already need.
Really?
They have now started in 9th grade. Your children only need 5 SOLs, or 5 verified credits. 1 in reading, math, science, history, 2 in English.
Okay.
Now, so as your counselor, we got 2,000 kids in Western Range. I'm looking through 1,000 kids and say, did they take a math yet? Take them off the list. Take them off the list. So now the state is trying to stop. Do we really like SOLs? No, we don't like SOLs. We don't like them. But the teachers are in the bind. So if you want to do something about that, you need to contact the state. It's called the VDOE. Tell them you don't like your children having to go through this because we're seeing an uprising in anxiety.
Yeah.
They up there shaking and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking like.
So my name is Jonathan August. I am a market leader and small business relationship manager with BB&T. BB&T is a local bank in the community. We've been in Hampton Roads. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We've been in Hampton Roads for about 40 years, but BB&T has existed for 146 years.
How many?
146.
Oh, really?
Yes. We just announced a merger with SunTrust, which we are expecting that transaction to be finally, formally approved. Sometime, I brought about 20, so here you go. Oh, so I can get that extra back if that's going to be yours. So, change is on the, you need one, sir?
What was your name again?
Jonathan August.
Oh.
August, yes. And so change is on the horizon. And for me, I've been in banking for 18 years. And as a military spouse in my former life, I've moved around 5 times. And so I've moved banks 5 times. So change is not something that I'm averse to. So we're looking forward to new horizons that the new company, once BB&T and SunTrust are finally merged, becomes. When that transaction is complete, we're going to be the 6th largest bank in the U.S. But one of the things that's really nice is that we're still very committed in the community. So I'm here volunteering my time today in hopes that there will be some information that I can share with you as the adults and as the parents, because if I understood less, well, this is a parent and youth event, and so while young people are learning about money, they need some coaches, right? And who's their number one coach? Parents, right? We want to make sure that they are guiding, they're going in the right direction. And one of the things that we sometimes see in our community, African American community, sometimes we don't talk about money. We put up this big wall. You don't even know where the bills come, how much the bills are, how much I make, that's not your business, all this kind of stuff, and you're struggling to make ends meet. And your son or daughter's like, well, why can't I just have those, the latest Jordans? They're only $250. Well, if you have those latest Jordans, the lights aren't gonna be home next week. And so to be able to kind of develop that level of dialogue with obviously maturity, but also balance is very important. I've already shared, at least you guys know I have 4 children. They all live with me. My oldest is 15. He's a student at Indian River High, and my youngest is 4. So I have 15, 12, 7, and 4. And so in our home, we share financial information to a much greater degree than, I'll be honest with you, than we'll share with me as a kid growing up. I learned a lot.
No? Anyone else want to give it a try?
I'll try.
Go ahead.
Paying your bills on time.
Paying your bills on time. So I want you guys to write payment history on that line where it's pointed to the blue area. And I want you to write 35%. 35% of your credit score, guys, is based on if you pay your bills on time. So it's very important to make sure whatever you need to do to make sure your bills are paid on time, whether it's putting an alert in your phone, whether it's writing it down on a calendar, whether it's sending yourself, some other kind of reminder, you gotta make sure that you pay your bills on time, because one late payment on your credit report can make you lose anywhere from 60 to 100 points. The higher your score is, the more points you lose when you have a late payment. The second area, the red area, who thinks they know what that area might be? Anyone? Come on, give it a try. Come on, you right there with the curly hair. Yeah. What's your name? Kayshawn, just say something. There ain't no right or wrong, we're learning. What do you think it might be? The second largest area of your credit? Insurance? Not quite. Help him out. Almost. You're going in the right direction. Come on. Who else? Anyone? Y'all want to help him out over here? Second largest area of your credit?
Survey says, I would say the number of debts.
Not the number of debt, but it's the amount of debt. So you're going to put on that line, you're going to put amount owed or utilization. Either one is fine because they're interchangeable. Utilization means how much of the credit that they gave you are you actually using. And I want you to put 30% beside that. What this goes to is, how many people in here are already in high school? Anybody 18 already? So you're 18. Have you started receiving credit card offers? What you got to be very careful about is when you get that credit card, if they give you $1,000 limit, you don't want your balance on that credit card to transfer from month to month to be more than 30%. So out of $1,000, 30% of $1,000 is what? Come on, get your phone out of something. Come on. 30% of $1,000 is what?
Around like 250.
A little bit higher. 10%. Thank you. 10% is 100. So 30% is 300. You never want your balances on a credit card to go over 30% of the utilization, because that's 30% of how your score is calculated. What that does, if you have a $1,000 limit and you have $800 that you charge, that means that you're at 80%. It looks like you're more at risk of not paying it back, and it makes you.
Here's the big thing that I go by with as a police officer and as a coach, is always thinking about the way I feel, or even thinking about situations you've been in, where you felt disrespected, or you felt that you were sad. Maybe someone disrespected you, is not your friend anymore. Maybe someone died in your family. Something of that nature. Those feelings, those things that you've gone through in life, we can grow, we can learn from those things. But the big thing to remember those is remember how you felt when certain things bad happened to you. If someone were to talk about you, if someone were to pick on you, if someone were to disrespect you, whatever that means to you. Because we can actually remember those situations. We can actually try to put ourselves into the other shoes of someone else. Anyone know what empathy means? What does it mean to be empathetic? Empathy.
Feel sorry for someone.
What's that? Close. That's sympathy. And those get very confused very often. Empathy and sympathy. Yes. Understanding where someone's coming from. Yeah. So not just feeling sorry for them, but actually putting yourselves in their shoes and actually feeling as much as possible the emotions, right? Being empathetic to actually what they're actually going through. Now, have you ever heard someone say, I'm going to put that person in their place? If you disrespect me, I'm going to put them in their place. Right? Before doing that, I would challenge you to do this. Before trying to put someone else in their place, first put yourself in their place. Try to put yourself in their shoes to understand their perspective of where they are in life, and why they may have made that decision. A lot of times when I come in contact with people, whether it be as a police officer in public safety, as an EMT, or as a coach, a lot of people are dealing with the same things. A lot of people are dealing with different struggles in life. A lot of people are dealing with financial issues and just family issues, and not feeling like they're loved or respected or cared for. And that's very real. And that's one of the big parts of society. All the people that I deal with when I go and mentor at the detention center here in Chesapeake and talk with some of the young people in there, the biggest part, a lot of times they don't respect themselves because they've never understood what respect actually is. They don't respect other people, and they get themselves in trouble and make poor decisions because they don't know what respect is. Who here feels like they are totally respected when they go to school? When you go to school, do you feel like you're respected by your teachers and the staff there? One person's not sure, one person maybe, a couple of people. How about when you're at home? When you're at home, do you feel respected by your parents or by whoever you live with? How about this? Go put your hands down. How about when you actually hang out with your friends? Do you feel respected by them?
Sometimes it goes back to punishment, taking something away from them. For me, it can be just lifting my voice, raising my voice, and they understand you mean business. And some men, you all got some stern voices, and they know you ain't smiling, you ain't playing, and what you say, you're saying, you mean it. And that means do as I say. But it goes back to the women, like I said, y'all say something, you don't have to have a manly voice, but the thing is, if you enforce it enough times, they won't keep trying. So you got to enforce it, and they know you mean business, and they'll stop doing it. Okay? Because you're taking away from them what they really want, and what hurts. And that's what you got to do. It's called tough love, and you got to do it sometimes. You don't want to do it because I'm a mama, but no, you got to do it. Because otherwise they'll keep trying. All right? But you got to also allow kids to show their emotions. I know for guys it'd be like, man up, men don't cry. Yeah, we do cry.
Yes,
we hurt just like women
Yes,
hurt.
we do.
Physically, mentally, we hurt as well as women do. And sometimes we cry, and we can't always say, take it like a man. We got to understand they got feelings. They lost their girlfriend. They can get upset and they can cry. So you got to encourage them, so forth and so on. So understand they have emotions. So try to work with them on those emotions and be sympathetic and empathetic. Yes, ma'am.
It's really important to teach the kids how to express their emotions, because working in the field I work in, when they have temper tantrums, don't get their cell phones taken away from them, get their games taken away, or break up with a girlfriend. I'm seeing kids come in and expressing suicidal ideation, homicidal ideation. So it's really important for us as parents to, okay, tell me how you're feeling instead of jumping off, oh, I'm gonna kill myself. You know, so that's what we need to do with our children.
Right. That means that's where that talking piece comes in. You have to be able to talk.
Communication.
What did you say?
Communication.
Communication, exactly. You gotta be able to talk to them. That's so important. That's all. And all the time, it doesn't require punishment. It's trying to find out what is the problem and how we can resolve it.
Yeah.
To add on to that, I noticed a difference. Like when I was growing up, we couldn't express ourselves as children. I mean, at age now, like what she said, it's suicidal now because everything is mental. The children have to have a space to express what's going on. Even though you think they're wrong, they should have a chance to express themselves.
Yes, sir.
Communication, here's the key. We keep saying communication. Communication is a two-way street. And we have to be mindful of that. And we have to.
At the Pine Treatment Center, he served as counselor for at-risk and emotionally disturbed adolescents. He has a master's degree in special education and a bachelor's degree in severe disability. He's a Christian, raised in a Pentecostal church, keyboard player. Without further ado, I present to you Mr. Ronnie Ratliff.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. He's going to give you some handouts. I know this is a very interesting subject. It's called No More Bullying. And I know, based on my data and my statistics, that this has touched everyone in this room. But I like to always start with what's called an icebreaker. This is a way that I can learn about you before we get started. I'm going to ask each person to think about 3 things. I'll give you an example. You can tell me your name, you can tell me your age, you can tell me something you enjoy, and we're going to start right here. We'll give them the mic. Now give me at least 3 things about you. You can tell us your name, your age, something you enjoy doing. I know guys like sports, fun, things like that. Let's start with you, young man.
My name is Daquan. I'm 15, and I like football.
What's your favorite team? Cardinals. All right.
I win.
All in three. Okay, all in three. Next one. 3 things.
My name is Daquan. I'm 14, and I play football.
Play football. Boy, we got some football in the house. Next young man.
My name's Tyrone. I'm 12. I like to play basketball.
All right, we switch it up. We got some basketball. Let's get 3 more.
My name is Darius. My name is Darius. I'm 14. I like playing football and basketball.
All right, we got some sports in this house. Next young man.
My name is Jamil. I'm 15. I run track.
He runs track. All right, now we got another young lady. Let's give us 3 things about yourself. Okay, then we got volleyball. Okay, add another one. We'll get just a few more.
My name is DeMarcus. I'm 16 and I play football.
Good job. Now, so he got a deep voice. Next young man.
My name is Ron. I'm 12. I like playing video games.
All right, all right. You let me get a couple more, but I just order. Young lady right here. 3 things. Listen up, everybody. 3 things about yourself.
My name is Keisha. I'm 17.
All right, sounds good. Let's try. Oh, good. Got a hand here. Let's try this one right here. Okay, guys, listen up. Listen up. Okay, this young lady here.
Person who has gone through all 4 of these conferences, talk about what you think was successful today.
Successful today, we had a good turnout, and I feel like all the classes did end up going well. And out of the 4 years that I've been a part of it, this has been one of the most interactive, and this is continuing to get better every year. So I'm just excited to see what's for next year.
All right.
Well, in my future, I want to go into cybersecurity or computer analyst. And more than likely, the college I'm looking at right now is North Carolina A&T, and I'm excited for the future.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And your name is?
Tariq.
And
Tariq
what
Bennett.
school you go to?
Oscar Smith High School.
I feel like this year it was a bigger turnout and the classes were more interactive. People were participating more. The teachers, the mentors seemed they enjoyed what they were talking about. The kids were listening a lot. So I thought it went pretty well this year compared to other years. So I feel like next year will be even better.
And I heard that you are interested in cybersecurity.
Yes.
That should be your career goal?
Yes.
So what school you go to?
I want to go in the Navy.
Oh, you want to go in the Navy first? Oh, okay. So what school you go to?
Oscar Smith High School.
And what grade are you in?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. All right. Thank you. And your name?
Keisha Bennett.
All right.